So somebody requested me to do top five pay-per-views of 2013. Now when I was doing this list, it was very hard to come up with some of them, especially like the last four and five, because I realized there wasn't even five good pay-per-views this year, which is retarded. Um, so yeah, let's get into this list here. Number five, this was a pretty shitty pay-per-view. I made a review about this. Go back and watch it. It was pretty shitty. Money in the Bank. Putting this one up for three reasons. The Money in the Bank ladder matches. Well, I guess two. There was two of them, so that's two reasons. The Money in the Bank ladder matches were both quality matches, and RVD returning. That was that was about it. That was the only good stuff on the pay-per-view. I was happy about Sandow winning, but of course they fucked it up. So, but yeah, I felt that was a pretty shitty pay-per-view. Um, the only parts that were good again were the Money in the Bank matches. So that's the only reason why it's on here. And by the way, a lot of these pay-per-views happened a long time ago, so it's hard to remember a lot of the matches. But I still have a good understanding of how good the shows were. The only show I did not watch, the only pay-per-view I did not watch, the whole thing, was I didn't watch I watched most of the Rumble. I watched the Rumble match and Punk versus Rock. I missed Team Hell No versus Sandow and Rhodes, and I also missed Del Rio versus Big Show. And then the Elimination Chamber, the only match I saw was Punk versus Rock. So I don't think the Royal Rumble. I thought the Royal Rumble was pretty shitty. Mainly because of the main event, and the Rumble match was pretty shitty as well. And the Elimination Chamber, I don't know about that. I didn't watch it, so I can't really say too much. But the main event sucked between Punk and Rock. Yeah, where are we at? Number four. Number four, Payback. This show was alright. You had a really good match between Punk and Jericho. You had let's see, what do we have? Trying to think here. Yeah, it's probably about it. Punk and Jericho. That's about. I remember you had Cena and Ryback in a pretty underwhelming three stages of hell match. I think the Shield took on. I want to say it was Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. Don't really remember for sure though. But yeah, this show was alright, I remember. I mean, nothing that great about it except Punk and Jericho. But that was about it. Punk and Jericho. That was really the main part of the show. Should have been the main event, but they put Cena, of course, Cena and Ryback in the main event. I should have really gotten match cards here. I could look it up though. If I remember looking them up, and so sorry guys, this is gonna take just a second here. I'm gonna go to WWE.com. I'm sure it has the card here. Payback. Alright, we had John Cena. I already went over that. Del Rio versus Ziggler. What a disappointment that was. Everybody was saying it's a great match. It was alright. It wasn't anything special. The double turn was pretty fucking ridiculous. People were saying how great the double turn was. It wasn't good. Why? Because Del Rio's just a shitty heel, and Dolph Ziggler is just a geeky, like boring, nerdy babyface. We had Punk versus Jericho. Already went over that. Yeah, we had Reigns and Rollins defeating Orton and Bryan. I don't really remember how good that match was. Axel defeated Barrett and Miz. They really went in the right direction with that because they gave the belt to Axel. It was good that they gave it to the newer star. I liked the ending to that match where I believe it was Barrett was in the figure four and Axel covered him. That was a cool ending. The match was pretty shitty though. Dean Ambrose defeated Kane. I remember that match I think it was average or decent maybe. Wasn't anything special, wasn't anything bad. Then AJ defeated Caitlyn That was a good match. Remember that? That was probably the best Divas match of the year, at least top two or three. Yeah, that was a good match, and we also had Sheamus defeating Sandown the kickoff. Um, yeah, I think that was a decent match. I remember that they should have made Sandow win though. And I remember Money in the Bank when I reviewed it. I remember I was saying the uh, the only things that were good was the ladder matches and RVD returning. So yeah, next one. Let's see here. I think I put let's see. WrestleMania. Yeah, WrestleMania. What a disappointment that was. But I gotta put it on here because it was a cool event. You know, it's always a cool event regardless of the card, the atmosphere, and the crowd, and everything about it is pretty cool. Obviously, the match that was the one to look out for was CM Punk versus Undertaker. What a great match that was. Just everything you look for in a WrestleMania match. Should have been the main event, but unfortunately it wasn't. You had Lesnar versus Triple H. What an underwhelming feud that was. Just a stupid feud. The match was alright at WrestleMania. Wasn't anything to get worked up about. You had Rock Cena, which was one of the most predictable main events in WrestleMania history. You know, the match was alright. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. Wasn't nearly as good as their match at WrestleMania 28. Wasn't even close. So the build-up was one of the most shittiest builds to a WrestleMania main event in history because The Rock was fucking shooting movies. Yeah, you got one of the biggest events supposedly in WrestleMania history. That's what they're billing this as. And Rock's off shooting fucking movies, so he can't be there as champion. It's great. But just there's nothing really that great other than Punk and Undertaker. I remember you had Jericho jobbing to that fucking gay Fandango. And you had Team Hell No beating Ziggler and Langston, which was, I mean, these matches weren't bad, but they were nothing to get all worked up about. You had The Shield defeating Sheamus, Big Show, and Orton. So that was supposed to be Orton's big heel turn, never happened. So they should have just turned him heel there, but they fucked it up. Number 2, Extreme Rules. Let me get the match card here. Yeah, Extreme Rules usually is a pretty good show. Usually has some nice extreme moments in here, but yeah, let's go over the card. John Cena, John Cena versus Ryback in a, what was it? Last man standing match. Really good match here. Had a lot of good hardcore moments. Had a really cool ending where Ryback tackled him, speared him, whatever, through the stage. That was cool. Something we haven't seen in forever. It was a very cool moment. The match should have kept going, though. I don't know why it ended there. Should have continued. But, yeah, that was a good match, surprisingly. Lesnar defeated Triple H in another good match. Like, really above average steel cage match. I was expecting this to be just a regular steel cage match. But they had sledgehammers. They had a bunch of, nice. You had Lesnar really selling that knee injury really good. And then at the end, Lesnar wins. It was a lot of interference, a little bit too much, but it's all right, you know. Triple H put him over, so I was happy about that. Del Rio defeated Jack Swagger. Remember that ending? You know, Del Rio's guy, Ricardo, throws in the towel. Are you fucking serious? It's just a retarded ending. Then they restart the match, and Swagger loses. You know, they could have thrown a swerve. I was listening to somebody's review. I think it was the Brad Rules, and he said they could have thrown. You know, whenever these matches restart, you know, it just ends the opposite of what the finisher originally was. Same thing happened at the Royal Rumble. The Rock versus CM Punk. CM Punk won. They restart the match. Rock wins. You know, I agree. They should have made Swagger win the first time and the second time. Swagger is better than Del Rio. Dean Ambrose defeated Kofi Kingston. You know, it was good that they were finally putting the belts on the Shield and giving them some matches. I remember this being a pretty good match, too. And we get the Shield defeating Team Hell No for the Tornado Tag Team match. I remember this being another good match. Then we get Sheamus defeating Mark Henry. I remember that being a horrible match. And it was the strap match. Then we get Randy Orton defeating Big Show in an Extreme Rules match. I remember that being another shitty match. Chris Jericho defeated Fandango. I think that was a pretty decent match. I remember I remember it being better than the WrestleMania match. And then The Miz defeated Cody Rhodes on the pre-show. Do not remember anything about that match, so I can't really review it. All right, number one, SummerSlam. This was a pretty good card here with a shitty fucking ending with fucking Orton just walking down to the ring cashing in. But let's go over the card. Daniel Bryan defeated John Cena in a really good match. Definitely top 5 of the year. Really enjoyed this match. Just everything about it was good. So, and Cena put him over clean, which was the best thing to do. But right there, that was like my favorite moment out of the whole of 2013. I was happy as fuck. Right after Bryan won, I was smiling, happy. Like, wow, right now is really a pretty good time to be a fan of WWE. You got Daniel Bryan, who you never thought they would put the belt on as champion. Oh, I'm so happy. Then Orton's music gets, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, they really fucked that up. Brock Lesnar defeated CM Punk in another great match. Definitely top 5 again on the year. Happy that Lesnar won too. Very happy that Lesnar won. I wouldn't have been like fucking angry if Punk would have won, but I preferred slightly to have Lesnar win. Del Rio defeated Christian in another good match. I really enjoyed this match. Bray Wyatt defeated Kane. Very shitty match. Ring of Fire. Yeah. And then we get Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn defeating Pete Langston and AJ Lee. Yeah, that's a really, really great match. You got Ziggler in a fucking mixed tag match. And everybody was saying, oh, he's going to win the belt at SummerSlam. Everybody was praising the double turn when I was fucking bashing it. Because I'm smarter than you guys. Yeah, that's right. But no, seriously. I saw everybody was praising the fucking double turn, putting the belt on Del Rio. I was like, he's good, so give him the fucking belt now. Alright, guys? Don't fucking wait, because when you wait, it doesn't happen. Yeah, same thing with, who is that one guy I was talking about? Daniel Bryan. Everybody's like, oh, he's just gonna get more over with the corporation storyline. I was fucking bashing it before everybody was, and I was right. He wasn't gonna ever get the belt. He's over as fuck. He couldn't have gotten more over after that. After he was named number 1 contender and everybody was chanting yes. How do you fucking get more over than that? Really, you can't. This corporation storyline has been a fucking fail. So that Ziggler match was shitty. Then you get Cody Rhodes defeating Damian Sandow. Not a horrible, like a decent match. But why is the Money in the Bank winner losing? Then we get Natalya defeating Brie Bella in like a 5-minute Divas match, and her really got going. I don't really remember too much about this. Then Rob Van Dam defeated Dean Ambrose by DQ in the kickoff match. This could have been a really good match, but for some reason it was just alright. So, since I didn't review the Money in the Bank card, I will do that quickly. Cena defeated Henry. Predictable, pretty slow match here, below average. Del Rio defeated Ziggler. I already really talked about that in this video. So, yeah, that was a stupid ending though. Yeah, this was the Money in the Bank, so. But remember, AJ came in and interfered. What a retarded ass ending that was. Sandow defeated or won the contract, so I was happy about. I already went over that. And Orton won the contract, which I wasn't fucking angry about. But I already went over that match. Axel defeated Miz in a pretty shitty match. AJ defeated Caitlyn in a, again, pretty shitty match. One at Payback was good, but for some reason this one was pretty shitty. Ryback defeated Chris Jericho in another shitty match. And remember, like, Ryback got a roll-up. Why does a big guy get a roll-up? And then the Shield, Seth Rollins and Reigns defeated the Usos. I don't really remember too much about it. It was a kickoff match, but so yeah, there you go. Top 5 pay-per-views of 2013. If you wanna recommend a video, ask me on Twitter at RuthlessRainer, or leave a comment on this video. So there you go.